What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, here today. It is a lovely Thursday, and thank you guys for being here. If you guys are feeling the zest, if you guys are ready for some TA Alpha, make sure you smash those likes, subscribe, share the stream out with friends so more people can get to know today's guests, learn about some charts, hear about the markets, and feel, as always, the good vibes. Thanks again, everyone, for coming. I'm going to waste no time. We have Craig, aka Crypto Savy. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. And yourself?
I am absolutely chilling. I'm hyped to have you. So I'm not like chilling, but I'm chill enough. You know what I mean? And I think you're really cool, Savy. You know, like me and you, we've been tight for a little while. And as always, you're dropping TA Alpha. You have your YouTube channel dropping mainly every day, new TA, new things going on. Last time we were here, we kind of spoke about your backstory. So if you don't mind, for people that weren't here last time, give them a little bit of an intro. Who is Crypto Savy? How did you get into crypto? How did you start your TA journey?
I started my TA journey in the traditional markets, actually in penny stocks. And penny stocks kind of started getting boring. Everybody shifted over to crypto, and that's when I kind of made my shift and started getting into crypto. It's like a lot of heavy traders that were in penny stocks came over to crypto just because the volatility is so high. So, and there's a lot of money in it. So, pretty much, I had a career. What was it now? Probably about maybe 3 years ago now, I quit my full time and just went strictly into the markets. That's it. That's all I do. Yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
No, you're cool. And I really do like your attitude. I like your conviction. And I like that you're confident, Craig. You really are a confident guy. When you're trading the past 2 years, we're experiencing a little bit of a crazy cycle. We had so much hype, 2020, 2021. Then we saw a crazy kind of crash. We were at 69K. We kind of traveled all the way down to 15, 16K. How did you feel about that? How were you trading that kind of experience, the downward trend?
A lot of people like to, play longs and shorts all the way, which I'm not saying I don't every once in a while get into a smaller trade in the opposite direction, but I like to trade the trend until I have a macro reversal. So what I look for in a bear market is shorts. If I get nice pumps, I like to short them until we have confirmation that in the macro it has changed. And I know a lot of people are thinking that it has switched, but I have my techniques and I stick to them. They've done me extremely well. And so far, I have not seen a macro reversal. So I'm still shorting the market. So.
You're still shorting the market. I mean, wow. I mean, they always say
my key area right now, and it has been, if you watch my videos, I've been talking about 25.8 forever. And it's, that's kind of an invalidation point of my Amazon to Bitcoin chart. And at that point, if we open and close a weekly above the 25.8, then I will start to consider that maybe the bottom's in, but I still think we will go down at least a significant amount even after that. But the bottom could be in if we open and close a weekly above 25.
So if we close a weekly above 25,800,
open and close.
Oh, open and close above.
One weekly candle has to open above and close above 25.8.
Ooh. So do you mind sharing more about the Amazon and Bitcoin theory that you had for people that weren't here the last time we were live together?
Sure. Yeah. So I know a lot of people in crypto. I mean, there's some people, I guess maybe it's 50-50 that were around for the .com bubble and actually felt it and seen it and what happened in the markets. And it was a lot like crypto. Everybody got super hyped. You could buy anything and it went up and people were making tons of money and it just shot super high. And then when it came crashing down, it really came crashing down and it had bear market rallies just like we're having now, in my opinion. That got people bullish again. They started buying back in, thinking that, it was going to continue all the way back up again and only to continue back down. And what it was just an overhyped market, much like crypto. There's a lot of bad projects. There's a lot of scammy things in it. And until that stuff's washed out, I don't see the market really pulling out of it. And I think I think by the end of this year, I think we're going to see a lot more things like Luna and all that stuff happening. And a lot of people hate on me for a lot of things, but one of the main things is Binance. I think Binance is going to be in some serious trouble. Just by looking at the charts. I'm not saying I know something special or what they're doing or whatnot, but by looking at the charts, I think Binance is in trouble.
Wait, do you mind explaining that? What do you mean? Like I know BUSD was an issue, but are you talking about looking at BNB in terms of Binance being in trouble?
Yeah, looking at BNB itself, and obviously the stuff going on with BUSD now, but before any of that stuff, I was talking about it probably about. It was actually right before the FTX crash when I started talking about Binance's chart was looking a little bad, and it's still looking bad. It looks like something big's coming in. I think last time I was on here, I talked about a false bottom in February or March. I still think we're going to get that lower low than we already were. Again, unless we pass that 25.8, then then it's possible that the bottom's in. But I think Binance might be the cause of that, to be honest. You've seen what happened when one exchange went down, and it's not necessarily saying they go down, but something big is showing in the charts. I mean, doesn't look like good news. I think that's going to be the catalyst to take the market down at least another leg.
You really think so? Because I don't know. Like,
I really do.
I know, like Binance, they've kind of been fighting the FUD the entire time. Especially when when CZ said, "Hey, I'm selling FTT." That was like kind of like one of the big catalysts for the FTX collapse. Like, a lot of people, it kind of sounded the alarm, right? And then we had this whole like liquidity crisis, like left and right. Binance said they're still currently trying to buy Voyager's assets. So it seems like they have some capital. And they were also
I'm sure they do, but FTX was buying a lot of stuff too. He was donating a lot of money. He had tons of money. He offered $3 billion to help Elon buy Twitter, and he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Just got to watch with these exchanges. And again, if it did go down, I think it would be a good thing for crypto. If he is doing some shady stuff and he got washed out, I think that'd be a good thing. We need to get rid of all the bad players. There's always going to be some lingering, but I'm not saying that the exchange is going to go under. I'm just saying something big is going to happen, and Binance, by looking at their BNB chart, is not looking good.
I mean, do you want to display what you're seeing? Because I honestly haven't looked
I'll
at
put it up.
Yeah, I haven't been looking at the BNB charts that much compared to the rest of the stuff I look at.
I have one comparison with FTT, but it's actually. It's in a lot of different things. And the funny thing is, I had the FTT chart. I think it was a Coinbase chart, and they took it down. So some of this one is missing on the FTT side. But I'll put the chart up real quick.
Yeah. Share the charts. Smash the like for charts. We love charts out here. I'm so excited.
See it there or no?
Yeah, sorry. Your mic went out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So over here you see FTX, the same thing, same type bubble pop that was in, .com, the one I show on Amazon. But you can see the similarities here, and it's getting really, really, really weak, and it's right in the same area over here. Like I said, the other chart, I had all this in there. I just drew it in there because that chart's no longer available on TradingView. The only one I can find is right here.
Got it.
And I'm scared to refresh it because this chart might disappear too. But anyways, it's just making the same pattern. And I think, like I said, I think BNB's in trouble, and it doesn't mean it goes straight down. Obviously, we could have another 3 or 4 months of sideways action with it, but I do think there's a lot more downside for BNB, and that'll probably be, if it does happen like this, will probably be something. It'll be blamed on something. Something will happen with Binance or whatever. And who knows, it may be a big scare, and then it just goes away, and then everything, goes back up, and everything's all fine and dandy. But it does look like there's something going to happen by looking at the charts.
I mean, do you see any
That and
like
my
volume that's like indicative of like big sell-offs? So do you think people have been taking profit with their B and maybe that's causation for a little bit of a drop? Because we know like with
that's all
FTT, people just
speculation, but
like,
I've heard people talk about, um, him selling. I don't know. Someone sent me a video the other day, and I don't know how true it is, but somebody had done some on-chain analysis and was saying that Binance was selling BNB coin to buy, or selling BUSD to buy BNB to keep it held up or whatever. Like I said, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to much of the news because usually, you know, what you see in the chart usually plays out if you're looking at it correctly, and then there'll just be news to follow. It just happens like that. I don't know that there's an easy way to explain that. There's many theories of why.
yeah, like
Really no easy.
I've heard of events where the dollar chart, for example, was taking a dip before like a catastrophic event happened in the States, and then that like made sense as to why like the dollar would collapse or whatever industry it affects.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like Luna, right before that happened, and I don't follow stable coins. I don't really follow altcoins, none of that stuff. But I was doing a live stream the day before the Luna crash. Literally the day before. It might have even been the day of. I don't remember, but it was like 100 and some bucks. And I had made a chart and I said it looks like it's going to about $30. Everybody laughed, and I put a measured move on there. Obviously, it went much further, but nobody
Yeah.
even thought it would do that. And then it just kept going. But it was just in the charts, and then that was before anything came out about them or anything. Just really strange how stuff happens. That's why I trust the charts. I've seen it so many times that it's just hard not to. Once something works so much, it's hard to get away from it, I guess. But there is the Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. I mean, it's the same pattern. Like I said, markets run in cycles. They do patterns. Everybody talks about Bitcoin being so much faster than normal markets, but these are both weekly charts, and it's playing out, the same time frame and everything. And that's why I think the low being, I was saying February or March, looks like it's probably going to be in March, maybe even April at this point. But all the highs, all the lows, and all of this were all the same. Even this structure right here, I was showing when I started talking about it on December 2nd. I was always looking for, when we had this drop, I was always looking for an ABC correction. And I didn't think it would break the high. I was just looking for an ABC correction, but we did get the ABC correction just like we got back here. And then it came, crashing down just like we had thought it would.
Whoa.
I still, like I said, I still don't think it's done. As you can see this, let me zoom in on Bitcoin chart, but I have it at 25.8, and that's only because I've had the 25.8 number for a while. The 55 EMA is actually at about 25,400 ish. So that would be where the weekly candle would have to open and close. But this has always been my invalidation of this chart, right? To say that maybe the bottom's in if it crossed that 55 EMA. So I still stick to that. And that's why I still think there's another lower low. And if you look at any bubble pops, like you've seen the market cheat sheet, I'm sure goes around all the time about what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it always has the same thing. You have your big drop, you have a big rally where everyone gets bullish again, and then it comes down. And then at the end, you have a big rally, just like these, right?
Yeah.
Same thing in the market cheat sheet. You have that big rally before you have a low, so you have a false bottom. Now, this could have been the false bottom here, but I still think the false bottom isn't until March, maybe even April, but I'm thinking March that we get one, get a nice capitulation, then we get a big rally up, get everyone bullish again. As I said, and my date has not changed since I made that first video. It was on December 2nd, 21, that the bottom would be September, October, somewhere in that range for the bottom of this Bitcoin bubble.
That's crazy.
And people think that's, doom and gloom and but after that, what happened with that was, we're right in this area, and you can see what happened with Amazon after that.
Yeah, it was just straight up
it does
like
play
moon,
out
moon.
like that. I mean, it's super bullish still. It's not saying that Bitcoin's dead or anything like that. but it
No.
washed out a lot of the .com scams and a lot of the crappy companies that were over leveraging on the in the .com bubble. They all got washed out in here, and then it cleaned it up, and it got time to go. But it did take 10 years to break that all-time high.
10 years. So, I mean, seeing you have your like invalidation point at like 25.8. So, I mean, even from where it is now, what Bitcoin right now is like $24,000 about. So you're saying it could possibly go down literally like 50% plus, possibly.
Plus, easy, yeah.
Dude, that
Again,
that's
if
a lot
this
of
was
money
the
in
false
liquidity.
bottom here, then maybe our true bottom will be, somewhere between 85 and 9,500. But I think that'll be the false bottom. But either way, if we get down there, it'd be a great time to buy and sell for some profits on the way up, ever. And then hold some of it. That way, if it keeps going up, then once it confirms the bull market, then you can start buying the dip.
Everyone will get liquidated at that point. And so
what happened over here to these guys?
Yeah, like that's like liquidation, bloody murder type things. Like,
get rid of the bad players. Again, there's no guarantees. And like I said, since I've been talking about this, I talked about, if this does get crossed, right? So this is what I talked about all last year. I talked about, spread this one out. So I told everybody you'd get pumps. Everyone would get bullish and wish they would have sold the last high, like over here. Then you make a lower low. They wish they would have sold there. Then you pump up. Then they buy more.
And then they get crushed and
think
humbled.
It's going all the way to the moon. Then it makes a lower low. Then they would have sold up here all the way down. That's how it happens in bear markets. But if you look at it in the macro sense, so everybody was buying, not everybody, but many people, more than not, were thinking each one of these were the dip all the way down, right? And they were buy the dip. So if they're averaging up here, if you sold up here and got out, you made all the money, or shorted, you made all the money coming down. Even if you wait for this to make a macro reversal, you're still buying. If you buy back in up here, you're still buying way cheaper than all these people are averaged in, right? And then you got a long ways to go up. So this is just a much safer way than just throwing money in, thinking this is the bottom. And if it is, and you did that, great. But that's just not how I do it. It's not. There's no confirmation for me to buy in. Like I said, I've traded one way forever, and it's worked out for me perfectly. I mean, perfectly fine. I'm doing pretty well, so I'm going to stick to the way I do things, right? So that's how I do it. I manage my risk. I'm not going to start buying all in until I have confirmation that either we get to these lows and I'll start laddering in a bunch down here, or we get up above here. But either way, I'm still doing way better off than people that bought all up in here.
I mean, yeah, a lot of plebs did buy in at the top. They had laser eyes, Bitcoin's going to 100K. Obviously, when people get bullish and euphoric like that, usually it's time for Bitcoin to take a dip. Especially in this little
pump here, because we dropped so far when we went down to that, what was it? 8?
It was like 30K-ish.
5 or whatever, and we got the bounce. Everyone got super bullish there. Tons of people were buying up here, and it wiped them out quick. So they're all still stuck up in these ranges. And I get it. They're super happy, and their emotions are going crazy because they're thinking, they're going to gain that money back. So everyone's super euphoric. But I just don't think the pain's in yet. Because usually when a market bottoms, people aren't calling the bottom. By the time a market bottoms, people are so beat up and so afraid. That's why most people don't buy the bottoms. And you're not seeing that right now. People are just really believe that the bottom's in, and they're pushing that narrative. So that's another reason I really just don't think the bottom's in.
I mean, we still, the thing is, in my eyes, right, we have so many institutions coming into crypto, all these banks, big players coming into crypto, pushing pro-crypto legislation, that, it makes me think that at what point is crypto going to be far long enough, and maybe now, is it far long enough for people to still be kind of bullish, kind of calling the bottom, and it be the bottom, being that there's so many people here?
If you're looking for long term right now, and it's money you're not going to worry about, then and that's your thing, and you're not trying to trade the markets, or you're not trying to, if you're just really believe in it and just want to buy, there's nothing wrong with buying.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think it's going to die. Could it? Yeah, but I honestly don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere, right?
Yeah, I
So
agree with
it's
that
all
one.
it's all in mindset too, and what your plans are. Like technically, right now, I don't have to do anything anymore, and I'll be fine. But I'm still wanting. I'm still wanting to get more out of the markets. That's my plan. If I wanted, I could just pack it up, quit, and I'll be fine the rest of my life. So it all depends on where you're at, what your plans are. A lot of people are. What scares me is, there's people putting money in that they might need in 5 months. And they're
Yeah,
putting all that money in there and they're putting it all into there when there's no macro trend reversal saying that this thing's going up yet.
there's no promise of tomorrow here,
Yeah,
Savvy.
you got, so many people are playing with, so many different financial situations, so much different stuff. Everybody can't be playing the same way.
Yeah. So what if we have this? Because we had a sharp recovery here. Like the past 2 months, 3 months, Bitcoin literally going from 16, 17K shooting into the 20s. Was this something you expected? Is it something that surprised you? Not kind of, a literal full recovery from the FTX drop?
I thought we were going to go a little bit lower before we got this bounce, but yeah, we've been expecting a bounce. I mean, you have to have bear market rallies. Like I said, that's what I talked about this whole time here. Look how big these were, right? It's normal in a bear market. Got to have that. We didn't have any bounces this whole way down right here, this second drop.
Yeah.
You look up here, I mean, this was sharp. This was all the way down from 33,000 all the way up to 48. So that was a $13,000 pump they had here. We're not even up 10,000.
True. Not as big as.
Like I said, people think that I'm just being negative and I hate Bitcoin. I'm just explaining what I'm seeing in the charts, why I see it, and what my invalidation points are. So it's not being negative on Bitcoin.
No, you literally just said, like, your theory could be proven wrong if, again, we open and close the weekly candle above around 25.8 mark. And if we do, right, what do you think could happen from there if we have that hypothetical 25.8 invalidation?
Well, let me see if I can pull this up.
Pull all of it up, Savvy. You got it.
So I have a couple different ones on this. So I do have a possible scenario.
Ooh.
This measured move here, this yellow line, looking at this as a descending wedge, bring that up to where it broke out right here, goes as high as 31.5. If it was to get up that high, I would literally shorting it with a lot of money if it got up to these ranges. I know some people are talking about 40,000 and all that, but if it got up above this 25.8, open and close the weekly above there, then I would say we're most likely going to be headed to that 31.5. That would invalidate the Amazon chart, but that doesn't mean we can't still have a lower low, right? We're not out of the water, in my opinion, until the end of this year.
Whoa! So
unless, for some reason it shot up to $100,000. I don't see that.
So if Bitcoin hit 31.5, you could still say there's a lower low that could come through and scare us all.
Yeah, if you look at like I don't like to compare Bitcoin in its own cycles, but for this one I will. If you look back in 2019 when it rallied back to almost 14,000 from the drop from 20,000 down to 2,800, 2,900, and then back up to 14,000. That happened in about, I think it was June or July, and that was it. Even I was bullish at that point. And what did it do? It came all the way back down. It didn't make a new lower low, but it got damn close to the other one. And yeah, that was an event, but like I said, events always come when the stuff's in the charts.
Whoa.
Crazy. So yeah, I don't want to, sound like a Debbie Downer when I'm just explaining what I see in the charts. People can be very rude in this space because people are dealing with money, and people losing money is a hurtful thing.
Yep.
But like way up here, I got tons of hate when I was making that video and kept talking about it the whole year, about it getting down to these levels. And all I was doing is trying to show people, what I was seeing. And if you choose to, if that's what you see, or at least you can learn from the way I'm doing things to try to chart on your own or figure it out yourself and come up with your own analysis. But instead of just doing things blindly, these learning the charts helps so much. But I was just trying to help people this whole way down, telling them it could happen. But people were saying, it wouldn't drop below 40, and then it wouldn't drop below 38, and then it wouldn't drop below 30, and it wouldn't drop below 20. You heard it all the way down. And if you get emotional in that, then you're going to get yourself in trouble in markets. If I got emotional over that and was like changing my view because everybody was mean and mad, I would never make any money.
Yeah, I mean, definitely taking your emotions out of it is a way to help you, I guess, be successful in trading during the bear market. But how else can you, like, I guess, profit from trading as numbers going down? Because people think you can only make money in trading when numbers going up. Is that true?
No, when you can short the market. Even traditional markets, you can play traditional markets ups and downs both ways. It's a little different in traditional markets because there's, the leveraging is different and just the ways about it are different. But if this bear market does take, if I'm correct, and it does take some time, a year or better, maybe 2 years to really get back to going again in a bull market, then I'm probably going to be switching my channel over to, looking for stuff in the traditional stock markets for long-term investments and things like that, looking for the bottoms and things in there until this gets going again. Because we might get a real dead time in Bitcoin. I'll still go over Bitcoin through all of it, but I'm going to be going on to other things too and kind of show people, just to show people what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be some huge opportunities here in the next year in traditional markets, along with obviously Bitcoin.
How do you feel about, because I'm watching like all these market channels all the time. A lot of them compare Bitcoin to tech stocks. Do you see any correlation there?
All markets really, and yeah, tech stocks because they're high risk. I still consider them high risk. High risk assets rely on the traditional markets doing. That's why every day I go over the Dow Jones before I go into the videos, and then I do DXY, which is the value of the dollar compared to other currencies, and then I go into Bitcoin. All that stuff kind of goes together, even gold and silver. Another thing from being around in 2008, watching markets and things, like they always say to get into gold and silver. And this is why I don't really pay attention to news, right? Because I think if you're watching the news and you do with your money based on what they're saying, you're probably going to lose your money. It's almost like they make the news stories and stuff to tell you where to put your money so they can take it out.
It's the inverse Kramer meme.
Gold and silver is a big one because every time right before there's a crash in the markets, people see a crash coming in the markets, just like 2008, right? And when it starts crashing, everybody's like, buy gold, buy silver. And then you'll see tons of commercials on to buy gold and buy silver. Well, gold and silver crash with the markets every time. I don't know why this save your money in gold and crypto thing, or gold and silver thing, is still believed. I guess maybe because new generations just don't know and they get sucked in. But who do you think's selling that gold and silver?
Yeah.
Why? Why would they make commercials? If it's going to go up so high, why would they be pushing you to buy their gold and silver?
I've been seeing so many
maybe
of those.
That doesn't make sense to some people, but it totally makes sense to me.
No, it does. And that's where the inverse Kramer meme comes in. Like Jim Cramer, like he'll tell you,
right.
Bitcoin sucks. He said Bitcoin sucks. Like, if you hold Litecoin, you're an idiot. When Litecoin was $60 and we see Litecoin did break $100 recently, sitting at like 90 something right now.
Yeah, he's literally a puppet. I mean,
but it's just one
he's
example.
Saying that for somebody.
Yeah. So how do you, and I know you were talking about the Dixie, right? From what I've gathered, right, the Dixie and Bitcoin have an inverse relationship, right?
For the most part. I mean, they'll ride together once in a while, but yeah, in a macro, yeah. Like everybody, this looks, most people you see cover it like this, so it looks terrible, but in all reality, that's a pullback. I think the dollar's going way higher. mean, that's what happens in bear market crashes, right? Stock market crashes. I mean, the dollar goes up, gold goes down, silver goes down, stocks go down. The only thing that goes up is the dollar. And what happens around the time of market crashes? Everybody's fearing the dollar. Everybody's told, get out of the dollar, get into safe stuff like gold and silver, but all that stuff crashes and the dollar rises. So if you're in the dollar when the dollar rises, when the market bottoms, get out of the dollar and get back into the stocks and stuff and ride the stocks.
So,
but I think the dollar is really, right now, this is the level I've been talking about. It's 0.382 fib. And right now we wicked above it. And it's also lining up with the 200. Let me zoom in so you guys.
Yeah, zoomy zoom.
It's also lining up with the 200 EMA. Once we have an open and close above that, then I think we're going to have a pretty big dump in the markets. If we get a rejection here and come all the way back down here, we could get a pump. But watch that 104.71 for the DXY. If we start opening and closing daily candles above that, then our next level to watch for, it's going to be 108.54. And then after that, we're probably going to new highs. That would confirm a pretty deep bear market.
So how does the dollar, like the Dixie chart, react to when, or does it not, because it's just the charts, react when they just print a ridiculous amount of money? Because we saw when, 2020 into 2021, it was just money printer going burr, 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 more than ever in history. So how could the Dixie or like the value of the dollar go up, or how did the charts react to that type of thing?
Here's where they were printing. So if there's more dollars, and all the Dixie is a comparison of, and I'm not sure exactly, it's the euro and the Aussie and some other currencies compared to the dollar. So it's how the dollar stands up. So if there's more dollars printed, of course, it's going to be worth less compared to all those other currencies because inflation.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can see what's happening now. And I think, and that's just another thing, that's what happens in those market times. If you look back here in 2008, right, dollar really shot up when the market crashed. That's just like pretty much what we're seeing now. Maybe we're in this dip and we got one more high coming, but same type of stuff.
So this is comparative to 2008?
Fear.
Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, I cut you off. I was going to say, so you think right now is comparative to 2008 because of like the macroeconomic maybe conditions worse. Of our world?
Yeah, maybe worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of neighborhood you live in or whatever, but like around here, a year between the last year and the year before, houses would go up for sale and they'd be gone literally the same day they would sell, like sometimes within hours. I've had a couple for sale in my neighborhood now for a couple months. And,
wow.
I've seen people come look at them and stuff, but nobody's buying. And like, I'm building a house right now, right? So it's a custom home. So he's a custom home builder. He only builds so many homes a year. He had 7 homes lined up for this year, and 3 of them canceled already.
Wow.
And they were already approved and everything. So it just goes to show you, people aren't, if they're rethinking that stuff, they're not going out and buying Bitcoin.
You would think? Do you think so? Because Bitcoin is something that like you don't have to have 20 grand to buy a whole Bitcoin. Like it's something you could dollar cost average into. So I feel like it is more accessible than most investments, like a house.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, in the long term, yeah, but you got to think a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So if they're putting in, they might be buying $100 worth of Bitcoin here, $100 there. But if times keep getting worse and worse like this, they're going to have to pull that money back out to use. They're not. Most people don't have a bunch of extra funds right now.
No, that's true. That is true. And I know
you're probably rich though. You probably bought a bunch of Bitcoin a long time ago. Cheap, right?
I wish, man. I'm still working towards 1 Bitcoin. Are
you really?
Yeah, sadly, because it keeps getting away from me. Like I try to diversify, which is probably like, like I try to buy a little bit of other stuff as well to try to build up multiple bags. But yeah, I haven't gotten 1 Bitcoin yet. I'm still working on it.
You'll get there.
No, I will. And like one day with the support of all the friends out there and the zest in the world. But speaking of digital gold, we have actual gold, right? So you said it's kind of boring. I know it didn't it make new highs recently? Gold, something happened there. And why did that happen? Are there more gold bugs now because they're shilling their gold coins on TV?
Yeah. here's my gold chart. This is actually, we made it at this drop right here. So this is actually almost 2 years old.
Oh,
This is what I've been looking for. The best case scenario would be get a bounce at this 15.9, and then this was just ABC correction, and then we can continue a bull market for gold. But I still think we get down to at least this. Like I said, if this is a longer bear market, we break that 1550. 14 is pretty much last hurrah for gold, and if that breaks, that's a very long trend. If that breaks, we could see gold back to like where it was back in here,
whoa.
15, or possibly back down to the 2008-9 lows.
So gold might be in trouble too.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, like I said, when the markets crash, gold and silver crash right along with it. Oil, everything. The only thing that goes up is the Dixie.
Oil gets
The
racked
smart money
all
gets
the time.
in the dollar. They sit in the dollar and wait for everything to bottom. And then when it bottoms, they start getting into all the assets, because assets are going to start going up and the dollar's going to start coming down. So they just keep riding the waves.
Man, because gold is like, I feel like in 2 years, like that's so like the price action is so boring compared to Bitcoin. Like imagine just like sitting in gold and like it's like almost like the price action is watching paint dry versus Bitcoin where it's like drama every day. Like
yeah, the one thing about gold is, I mean, if you're going to be buying gold, you should be buying gold on the market. You should be buying literal gold or silver,
like physical in your hands.
One more benefit of Bitcoin, that you can buy it on the market, but you own your keys, so it's it's your Bitcoin. So the gold market's definitely manipulated.
I mean,
silver too. That's why the markets move the way they do. Technically everything's manipulated. You manipulate the market. If you buy, you manipulated the market. If you sell, you manipulate the market. So that's what makes markets.
Yeah,
people talk about it like it's a bad thing.
No, you know what? That's so facts. And you know what? It makes me laugh, Craig, when I'm like watching the TV and I'm like hearing them talk about the markets and they're like, well, the market says this. The street says this. They say this. Who is they? And what did they say about the market? And why can't I make money? Because they say this stock is going to go down. We should all get wrecked. Like, what is happening? Who is they? Who is the street? I'm so confused.
And there's so much that goes on in these markets. There's lots of movies and stuff you can watch about it too, that just some of them are more fictitious, but they get some pretty good ideas in there. Like there's professional firms that are out there that actually their whole goal is to create shorts in the market. They'll send people out to get bad stories on certain companies, and then they'll put a bunch of short orders in, and then people will get a hold of their media friends or whatever. They'll get the news out. People will dump. They'll make a bunch of money. I mean, that stuff happens. A lot of people are just naive to that. They don't. Even if you tell them, a lot of people just won't believe you. I mean, that's money. People will do a lot of crazy stuff for money. The people playing in these markets been doing this a long time.
I mean, what else should we be looking for in the markets that, like we see there could be some drawdowns for gold, could be some drawdowns for Bitcoin. I mean, is there any certainty here?
Five things you can touch. Invest in some land, invest in stuff like that.
Land is fun.
Land is literally the real only one thing that they'll never create anymore.
That's true. And you know what? Gold has been complicated because I'm like seeing all these shows on TV as well where they want to mine gold and governments aren't even giving them permits for water to mine the gold, because obviously you gotta sluice, you gotta separate the gold from the dirts, but they won't even let people mine anymore. So I think the gold market's definitely controlled, because obviously they do ban people from mining in certain spots where there's a ridiculous amount of gold as well, like mountains of gold they'll find, but the governments will step in and say, hey, you can't mine that. That's manipulation.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on, and in my old business, I dealt with heavy equipment. So any company that had big heavy machinery, I got in with them, and I knew a lot about their businesses. Well, one is I may even get in trouble for saying this. I don't think so, but I'm going to say it anyway. Boom. So one big huge industry is dairy farming. It's huge. They have a lot of heavy equipment because they have huge dairy farms, And I was talking to one, I won't say their name, but they're very large. They got them all over the country. One of the guys in there, he said the government gives them subsidies to dump milk to keep milk at the right rate. So if milk was getting so cheap, then they have to lose milk, price back up.
Shut up. That is crazy.
Create supply and demand. Yeah.
And you know what? It's kind of like the egg thing that's going on because eggs are extremely expensive. And there's literally people I've saw videos of where like they'll go outside, their chickens are dead. Like it doesn't look like anything happened to them, but the chickens are dead. And,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I've been
I knew
seeing
about the
weird
egg
stuff.
thing, but I guess I didn't dig in. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And then apparently there's one big owner of like all the chicken feed, like that you feed your chickens. I have no idea. Like I'm putting, like it's like tinfoil hat stuff. But definitely, if anything, the last few years has proven like tinfoil hatters have been somewhat on the right track. But it's actually crazy, like what's going on now. And orange juice. I heard orange juice is also expensive too. Isn't there like an orange juice chart too?
There may be.
Like there's like a bunch of charts for all these things, and then the cattle futures and like steak is going up and
lumber, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. So do you look at any of that type of stuff? Like I know you look at oil, gold, silver. Like what else do you kind of look at?
I through it and look at it here and there. Usually only if I hear something about it because I really don't dabble in that stuff. But like I said, if Bitcoin gets really boring, then I'm going to be digging deeper into the markets so I can share what I find in that also.
How do you so you're still looking at the stock market as more of like a stable traditional way of like gaining value instead of like like in the short term versus like Bitcoin if it gets choppy and boring and sideways?
Well, I say that saying when I'm going to be looking into the markets, it's going to be traditional markets is mostly going to be looking for long term. But like Tesla, Tesla's on my radar for between 50 and 60 bucks. Talked about that probably 6 months ago. I started talking about it. That's one, but I'm going to bring up some more and show people why and where I'm looking to get in. Because I am going to diversify, but I'm not diversifying in crypto. But probably the only crypto that I'll ever own is Bitcoin.
Really?
I know a lot of people are into alts, just not my thing.
Ooh.
But Bitcoin and then, traditional markets. Put money in, but I'll be putting large amounts in and, over time, every couple of years, depending how things doing, I'm going to be taking profits out of that stuff too. Probably purchasing more land. And right now my thing is buying land and building cabins and creating Airbnbs, which will be
I was going to say
income plus a retirement when I'm ready to sell it.
Wow. Yeah. Airbnbs are a move too. I know people make like a crazy amount of residual income. Like you have the right place, you clean it, keep it nice, like in a good location, people will come consistently.
Yeah. See, the ones we're getting, they're all waterfront. And I haven't started it yet with maybe putting a pontoon on the lake. And then it's all around national forests. So hunters will come in the winter. There's trails for snowmobiles, stuff like that. And then in the summer, obviously, it'll be more for the lake people.
Wow.
Year-round people renting it. So that's
You're cool. You're so cool, Savy. And I know you're also building your house and you're putting up sheetrock. You have all of these outdoor friends, all the coyotes and things like that. What is it like to be building a house during this time? Has the lumber been an issue for you too? Because I know lumber has been like a huge issue.
Well, it was high. Yeah, we actually closed the deal, I think, last October. And then, so everything's already paid from that quote. So yeah, it was a little high, but I mean, I really don't think you can go wrong with buying land or a house, even if you take a loss in the beginning. Pretty sure. And I only plan on in there probably another 15 or 20 years, live in that house and then sell it. And it just be part of my retirement that we sell along with selling all our Airbnbs. Maybe be older then. I'm not going to want to have all my toys and stuff to take care of. So get a little house somewhere and the rest of our life, maybe travel the world.
Travel the world. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to head to, Savy?
I'd like to go everywhere. Not right now, obviously. I'd hate to get stuck somewhere, but we've So far, the only place we went out of the country, obviously Canada. We're right near Canada. But we took a trip to Greece a few years ago, and that was beautiful country. If you ever have a chance to go to that, we went to Athens and Crete Island. Beautiful place. Check it out if you get a chance. But pretty much anywhere. I want to go see the world at some point.
That's great.
Just like I said, with everything going on right now, I don't think it's the greatest idea to travel.
No, it is a little bit difficult. It's crazy.
There's plenty to see in the States. We've been doing a lot of vacationing in the States. So.
Yeah. I mean, listen, end up just like, being like the rest of the crypto fam, head over to Miami. You could get a nice apartment over there with all the cool amenities in the building, with the gym, the spa, the balcony. If you play pool in one of those cool rooms that they got in all these buildings, you could bougie out, Savvy, you and your wife.
Right on.
I'm rooting for you, man. I really am.
Where are you? You're in New York, right?
Yeah, where crypto is like a pain, but yeah.
Oh, it's a pain because of all the exchanges and regulations.
Bit license, yeah, it's so bad. But I do think it's going to change. I think like a lot of the regulation and a lot of what's going on isn't going to hold up in the future just because they don't know what to do right now. You can't stop code. Like that's what this whole space is. It's code. It's decentralized applications. It's smart contracts. It's the blockchain, and blockchains are run by people all around the world with computers solving complex math algorithms in order to validate transactions, support the blockchain. And it's something, again, like one centralized entity can't control and can't get their cut of. So yeah, I think it's just like, waiting until the launch of CBDCs, the, implementation of all that stuff. But I do think, of course, a lot of this won't hold up in the future. Oh no, did Savvy disappear? R.I.P. I was talking to myself, guys. No, Craig, no. No. All right, friends. Hopefully he comes back. I don't see him. It's all black. It's all dark. Oh no. Gary Gensler, did you get him? Is this your fault? Gary Gensler, literally the SEC. Was he an unregistered security? Was he an unregistered security? Oh no, Craig. I gotta text him. I'm gonna tell him to leave. And come back. Oh no. Friends, oh boy. Poor Savvy, he got kicked out. Hopefully he comes back. Oh no. Okay. So friends, again, if you did not already, make sure you smash those likes. We got like 76 likes. I'm hoping to hit 100 today. If you guys could do that, that would be awesome. But smash the like for Savvy getting rugged. Literally got rugged. So Gary Gensler, you did say this is your fault. Thank you guys for coming today. I appreciate it. I don't know what happened to Savvy. I think I'm going to see if he could come back so he could say goodbye. We got Beardy Day in the chat. Sean, yeah, he did get rugged. Savvy did get wrecked. Tusk Reaper Gaming. The future for sure is crypto. Next few years will be interesting. 100% I agree with you. Cryptocurrency is amazing. Again, at the end of the day, this space is just code. You can't stop code. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ecosystem we got. Again, I'm going to try. I think Savvy's coming back. Yes, Evan, he maybe was too bearish. Again, he's not saying he's bearish. He said he's in between. He's got his theories for, Bitcoin taking a lower low, or, he said he easily could be invalidated if Bitcoin hits, let me get this link for him. He said if Bitcoin hits 25.8, then he's invalidated. Copy invitation. Okay, let me see if I could get him back. I'm sorry, fam. Let's see. All right. Gary Gensler, for the people, not for the people. We need him back. Smoklm? SMOKLM. Hey, nice to see you. Welcome to the show. Our guest did kind of get booted off. I don't know what happened to him, but Jay, yes, 25,800. He said he will be invalidated. He will think it is a macro reversal, and we're headed back up. Colin McDonald, he was actually very informative in my opinion. 100% I agree. He is informative. Yo, what's up? Who is that? Paraval, nice to see you. Ozzy, what's up? So, Ozzy, I hope you know that we're chill, bro. I hope you know that we're chill. Olive, I like Savvy. I'm sure he gets a lot of heat for his prediction, but it is very nice to the people in the in his comment section. Listen, he's a cool dude. He's just getting after it. Let's see. Hopefully he's back. Don Manning. What's up? Being an IT,
Sorry
get used to
about
the
that.
tech. It's okay. What's up, Savvy?
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything about the milk.
I think the milk, literally, they canceled you because of the milk. That's so funny.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was your side, but then when I went back on, all my screens just kept flashing, and then it came back on. So I don't know what happened.
Really?
No idea.
That's so weird. We can't see you, but I could hear you.
There we go.
Perfect.
Sorry about that.
All right, no
That
problem.
was super weird.
Yeah, it's okay. Technical difficulties, it always happens. But thank you again for coming today, and I really do appreciate it. I guess we could just we could close out because we were about to do that anyway before we got rugged,
Right.
and we were talking about the freaking milks. But again, I do like milk, and I hope it's coming from the right places. Listen, I do like milk. If I wasn't like lactose intolerant, I would drink cups of milk every day. That is refreshing. You don't think milk is refreshing when you drink milk?
I'm not a fan of milk, honestly.
Really?
Nope, me nor my wife drink milk.
Wow.
Or one of us. Almond milk.
I think it's very refreshing. You like almond milk over whole milk? I didn't take you
Yeah.
for an almond milk type of guy.
Yes.
So,
My wife, she runs the roost, man. I just do what she tells me.
all right. Well, the wife is the boss. Happy wife, happy life. So I'm not Mrs. Savvy. Do your thing. Drink your almond milks. I like my regular milks. I even though the lactate milk is good, like the one without lactose in it, it's pretty fire. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. This was a great show. You're awesome, Craig. Thank you so much for informing us. A lot of people in the chat were even saying that it was very informative, and it is very true. You are very informative. I like that you watch all of the markets, including cryptocurrency. Hopefully you venture into the alts, because I do think alts do kind of tell you a lot about the market as well. Gives you kind of a different perspective of like what the everyday people are trying to invest in and see where their money can go. But anyways, where can everybody find you? And speak from the heart, Savvy. What's one message you would like to share with the audience?
One of the biggest things for markets is just try not to FOMO in, try not to get carried away or too emotional. Markets, there's always going to be opportunities. So don't think you're only going to get an opportunity right now and that's it. You never get another one. There's always going to be opportunities in markets and life in general. So just don't get down on yourself, and just try to, I don't know, just try to treat people good, do the best you can, and you'll do fine.
Thank you.
Pretty much it. And the markets, like I said, just don't get all don't think you only have a certain amount of time. Take your time, study it, look at what you want, read books on investing if you want to be an investor. If you want to be a trader, learn how to trade. Don't just jump in and think you're just gonna get rich overnight.
Nice. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. Where can everybody find you?
My YouTube channel, Crypto Savvy, or you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Crypto Savvy1. No underscores, nothing. At Crypto Savvy. That's it.
Awesome. All right, friends. His Twitter and YouTube channel is in the live chat as well as the description. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys from popping out, especially the people that were with me for the Daily Zest at 12 o'clock. You guys are real ones. Again, friends, I'm
going to be checking that out.
Yes. Definitely do that. I am going live for the Daily Zest Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Be there and be square, my friends. Again, make sure if you enjoyed this video, you smash those likes, you subscribe, you share this stream out with friends so more people can learn some TA alpha and know what's going on with the markets and what could possibly happen with Bitcoin. Make sure you guys comment after the show what you think will happen with Bitcoin. Can it hit 25K this weekend? Maybe invalidate Craig's theory, or can it take a crash down, hit a lower low? Let us know your thoughts. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate every single one of you. Have a great weekend, and as always, stay zesty. Peace.